at that time.
It soon became apparent to the press that something horrifying was happening within the town, but no one was really sure what was going on.
Even the police didn't know what had happened. The whole incident consisted of 3 locations. 10 miles away in Savernake Forest it all began, when he shot that poor woman who was picnicking with her children. Then he drove down the A4 to Froxfield, where the service area was, and he tried to shoot the woman on the till, and then he came into Hungerford. And gradually these reports of these different things came in, and it was immensely confusing. And if it was confusing for the police, it was doubly confusing for journalists who were trying to put together a picture of what had happened.
Gradually, Mike and his fellow journalists began to build a bigger picture.
It was starting to become clear that there was a man on the loose with what looked like automatic weapons who had killed more than one person. There were perhaps 2, 3, 4, even 5 people dead. Which is shooting with a fully automatic assault rifle. So, piecing that together for the police, never mind for journalists, was a very difficult task to do.
But the media and the police had no idea of just how much the body count was rising. Van driver Eric Vardy became Ryan's 12th victim of the day when he was shot on the junction of Priority Avenue and Terence Hill. The gunman then crossed through Orchard Park Close, killing 22-year-old Sandra Hill in her passing car. After heading on to Priory Road, Ryan forced his way into a house, killing both Victor Gibbs and his wife Myrtle, bringing his tally of victims to 15.
Most spree killers feel kind of quite hard done by. They feel that they are victims. They feel that other people have been out to get them for their entire lives. And they often begin fantasising about one day getting their revenge on these people.
Ryan continued south on Priory Road, now heading away from the town centre and towards his old school, John O'Gaunt. He shot at a family who were driving by in their car. 34-year-old father, Ian Plale, was hit in the neck and died. In less than 90 minutes, Ryan had killed 16 people.
Finally, Ryan, I think symbolically, returns to his old school, the John O'Gaunt Community College, and he locks himself in. By this time, the police have managed to assemble a reaction, and he begins to negotiate.
For 5 hours, the police tried convincing Ryan to give himself up.
He seems incredibly concerned about his mother. That seems to be what is at the forefront of his mind, what he's most concerned with. And you could interpret that as some kind of remorse. But actually, I think it's more indicative of his enmeshment with his mother and his dependence upon his mother, because they had quite an intense relationship. He really was quite a mummy's boy. And I think that the thought that he had killed her and taken her out of the equation was something that he was having quite a lot of trouble with.
Very near the end of the events at Hungerford that day, he said to the police negotiators, "Hungerford must be a bit of a mess by now. I wish I'd stayed in bed." And that, in a way, encapsulates the tragedy of it.
Shortly before 7 p.m., police heard a single shot emerge from the school.
The standoff ends with Ryan killing himself. The psychotic break is complete. He doesn't do anything dramatic. He simply shoots himself with one of his own rifles.
Sergeant Paul Brightwall of the Tactical Firearms Unit began a shouted conversation with him.
On many occasions he seemed to me just to be on the verge of coming out. It wasn't until he said about the fact that he'd got 1 round of ammunition left. And I sort of said, well, why have you kept that one? And he said, it's obvious.
In a way, it was a sort of something of relief. But then it was over then. He couldn't shoot anyone else. And in a way, it sort of was brought some closure in my mind. It didn't bring any closure to the events that happened subsequently, but it did bring closure to that event. He couldn't shoot anymore else and no more lives would be lost.
For the local residents, including Trevor Wainwright, the news of Ryan's suicide brought mixed feelings.
One of the strangest things for me was that the remorse had gone, the fact that he'd killed himself and he was no longer alive. The hatred, if he'd have been caught and arrested.